Hello friends, in this tutorial I'll be teaching you about CSS, what CSS is. If you have been following my previous series, we have been talking about HTML. So in this series, I want to introduce you to CSS. What exactly is CSS? CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheets. It is actually the code that styles the web content, okay? And so in this CSS course, these are the questions that we'll be answering, and this is the introductory course, okay? So this is the introductory part of the CSS series that I'll be uploading in my YouTube channel. So one of the questions is how we can make the color of our text to be red or any other color, not necessarily red. Okay, how we can display the content at a certain location, let's say in the middle or at the left-hand corner or the right-hand corner or at the top or at the bottom. Basically, the web page layout. And of course, how we can decorate our web page with background images and of course, background colors. So these are the things that we'll be looking at in this CSS course. Now, what exactly is CSS? So just like HTML, CSS is not a programming language. It is also not a markup language. CSS is a style sheet language. Now, what that simply means is that it is what you use to selectively style HTML elements. So CSS is used for presentations. It is what beautifies your web page. So if you code using just HTML, your website or your web page will not look pretty. You'll just be seeing black and white. But we usually use CSS to change the default setting of our HTML elements. For instance, the default font for HTML, the default font color is black, while the default background color for HTML is white. So when you apply CSS to your HTML element, you are telling the HTML that you do not want to follow the default setting of the HTML. You want your own. You want to be in control. That's what you are telling, your browser. You want your own style. And of course, that's why it is, of course, is a style sheet language. So you want to change the color to whatever you want. You want to change the background color. You want to position things the way you want. You want animation. So you are simply giving rules. And of course, the HTML element is obeying those rules as long as you give them correctly. Okay, so now let's look at the CSS syntax, anatomy of a CSS rule set. So we want to look at the anatomy. Remember, we also have anatomy of HTML. So we also have anatomy of a CSS rule set, or we can call it the CSS syntax. So what we want to do now is to dissect the CSS code. What you are seeing, we want to make the paragraph. We want to change the color to red. We want to give it a red text. Okay, that's what we want to do. That's what this syntax is explaining. So if you look at the CSS syntax as it is described here in this diagram, you will notice that the CSS has a selector. In this case, it is the paragraph or the P. So that is the selector. And the selector can be any HTML element. It can be headers, it can be your H1, it can be your div, it can be any other selector. Okay, so these are the selectors as you can see here. Now, we also have your declaration block. Now, the declaration block contains more than one, let's say one or more declarations. One or more declarations. And we have the property name and the property value. So the property name here can be color, and the value is what? Red. It can be any other color. It can be green, it can be blue, it can be indigo, it can be purple, pink, name it. And then you conclude it with a semicolon. Okay? So if you have more than one declarations, they will usually be separated by a semicolon. All right? Now, after the property, you will add your colon before writing the value. Okay? Now, the declaration block is surrounded by a coily braces. You can see the opening coily braces and the closing coily braces. Then in between is where you write your declarations, and which is in form of property name and value name. Okay, so this is your CSS syntax. This is your CSS anatomy, or the rules that govern CSS, that enables us developers to perform the magic that you see, so to speak, in quotes and unquotes, that you see on many websites today. All right, so that is the introduction of CSS. In our next tutorial video, we're going to be talking about CSS selectors, and we're also going to touch background, borders, and other CSS rules. Beautiful. So if you got value from this particular video, do well to smash that like button, hit that notification bell, okay, and subscribe. That is, if you haven't done so already. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, and you will go ahead and get massive value whenever I drop useful content like this some other time. Okay? Don't also forget to share this video if you like this video. All right? So that other persons can as well see it. Okay, guys, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next tutorial. Peace out.